Hi guys. This is going to be a different type of video. It's gonna be a a personal video, a video that I never thought I will make, and a video that since I've been realizing about these things, I wanted to make, but I didn't know how to do it. And after pushing and pushing this video more and more, I realized that there's never gonna be a right way I can talk about this and feel 100% comfortable with it. And I feel I just choose record and do this video. So today I'm gonna talk about my mental health and the mental issues that I've been dealing with throughout most of my life. I'm not trying to make this video extra long, so I will make maybe more in-depth videos in the future to talk about each specific things that I've been dealing with. But as of now, this is the video that I'm gonna make today. So I want to talk about my mental illnesses, disorders that I've been going through. And yes, many people have more than one. If they suffer from one, sometimes it's common for them to have another one. And it's very important to realize that if you're going through any mental or emotional bad situation in your life, you should seek help, especially psychiatric, psychologists, because it's very important to remain healthy on your mind as well. So by starting off this video, I will start by the disorders that I've been diagnosed, and followed by the disorders that we are seeing some similarities with, but I haven't been fully diagnosed yet. So by going to the psychiatrist and talking more about it and getting more treatment, we can finally diagnose. I don't want to claim something that I haven't been fully diagnosed. I didn't diagnose myself. I go to a psychiatrist and I visit many of them as of now. So by starting this video, I will shortly talk about me dealing with bulimia. And yes, eating disorders are mental disorders as well. I've suffered from bulimia ever since I was 11 years old. Started by me forcing myself not to eat, because bulimia is not you only throwing up. You can do other types of purging, like drinking laxatives, extreme diets, extreme amounts of exercise that are extremely unhealthy for the body, and one of them is not eating. So when I was 11 years old, basically I didn't eat for 2 days, and my parents didn't even know because I was eating outside allegedly after school. And this developed, and once I became around 13 years old, I started throwing up the food that I was eating. I didn't do this much, I will accept though, but generally when I ate something that I know wasn't healthy for my body, I definitely did it. Especially when I drank alcohol, which yes, I started drinking at a very young age. I had to make sure I throw up, because in my mind I was like, alcohol is gonna make me fat, and it does, but it's a struggle that I've been dealing with. And when it really hurts me in a way that I was a child and I was going through that and nobody knew. And that was one of the things. It started fading away when I was 18, 17, when I started getting healthier. But it's hard to overcome it. Even until now, I feel it's very hard, but it's one of the disorders that you can overcome. But that's the quick recap of it. It affected me mentally and emotionally. It control over my body, and I want to make a video more in depth about it. But I've been dealing with that since I was very young. A lot of children do suffer from bulimia and anorexia and binge eating disorder. It's extremely sad because when I was during that time, I really thought it was normal because in my mind it was like I saw in the media like people do diets and stuff, but what I was doing was not a diet. What I was doing was not healthy at all. I think that as a child, my goal be through that right now. It really breaks my heart. I just can't believe that. So following that, um, around the age of 19, 18, 17, I had struggle with sleeping and emotionally. I just started getting depressive episodes. Um, which at the time I didn't know I had them. I thought it was like something normal. I finished college. I was going to move with my brother, but my brother sadly passed away, and that really broke me. I just didn't know what to do in my life. When you're at that age that you don't know what to do, I was gonna move to a whole different continent because at the time I was just like, let's choose anything. I didn't even think of my mental health or anything. I was really going through it. I remember when I moved here to Asia, being here alone, and then jumped into a toxic relationship, which it wasn't. I'm not gonna blame on it, but it affected me highly. I will say that me going through this, I start getting months, like a whole month, I couldn't sleep more than 4 hours. I feel like I had energy for things, but I couldn't do anything. I was crying every single day, and then out of nowhere, I was fine. Following that, 3, 4 more weeks, I cannot stand up from my bed. I feel a weight on my chest that I can't wake up. Then my sleep is extremely regular. I hated that. I went from like sleeping 4 hours a day to sleeping 11 hours a day the next week and feel tired the entire day and not being able to do anything and just crying and blaming yourself for this. I'm not doing fine in school. I can do even a YouTube video because of this. It was really disappointing. Then following that year, it happened. It was more common. Then I went on my lowest last year on September. I really felt like I was a failure. So many things were happening to me. I didn't know where I'm going to my life, and I really wanted to die. This is not the first time I've thought about suicide, but this was the closest I've ever been to kill myself. I already made a plan on how to do it because it's not like I really could do it right there. I'm in a different continent. Imagine what my family's gonna feel. So one of my plans was actually going to my country and just like do it. But I was crying and I really want to do it. For 2 weeks I was making my mind that this is gonna be my fate, and if I do it here, I'm gonna have to do it here because I really could not take anymore this change of emotions, my life, and I really thought it was me. I really thought I was ungrateful. I really felt extremely guilty that many people go through so many things, and me that basically I don't go through those many things is gonna happen to me. One of my best friends passed away, my grandmother, my dog. I really could not take all of this, and I was feeling guilty because I thought that nothing was going on with me. And then after that, I decided that I'm going to die. If I don't do anything, I'm going to die. And even though people think that suicidal people don't want to live, that's a lie. I think suicidal people want to live, but they can find a reason to stay here, to keep fighting for it. And I understand that because I really wanted to die. And it's not that I didn't want to live anymore, it's that I didn't know how to keep fighting, how to succeed in this life. You really don't enjoy life, and even until now I don't think life is enjoyable. I truly don't. Following that, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder type 2. There's a difference between bipolar disorder type 1 and type 2. Generally, type 1 get almost the same exact amount between manic and depressive episodes, while the one that I have, bipolar disorder type 2, just basically you get more depressive episodes, and you don't get the fully manic episodes, you get the hypomanic, which are not as intense as the manic episodes. So generally I used to get more depressive episodes more often, and the hypomanic were are still bad, I'm not gonna deny, even though some people, some bipolars enjoy them, I don't. And I don't wanna, I don't want to talk about all bipolars, but I've seen videos of some bipolars that they say they truly enjoy being hypomanic, but I don't. I will clarify this later, but I was diagnosed with this. And following this, it was really a relief that what I've been going through, it's not just me, it's just who you are. I am a bipolar person. I suffered from an eating disorder, and it's who I am, and I don't want to be a victim. I don't want to die, because most mental illnesses will lead you to commit suicide. That's why I want to make this video talking about both, because you know that you can talk about. I'm not gonna say all of them, but that's what's gonna lead you if you can't treat it. That's why it's important to talk about mental illnesses, because people are committing suicide, and it's because of this. So after I was diagnosed, I was I am Seroquel. I didn't start on the higher amount because my doctor told me I'm too young, and he would like to start with half of the prescribed. So I now am half of what a generally bipolar patient will have, but I will increase over time. Generally, as what I know, bipolar disorder firstly starts around the ages of 17 or 18, mostly before the age of 22. I'm not sure if this is correct for majority of the cases, but I know it's extremely common to start between these ages. There's things that even with a treatment and changing your way of life, you need to know what things triggers your depression, like toxic relationships. Like me, I have to stay in shape. My body, even though I hate it, my body dictates the way I feel. Eating has been an issue since I was very young. And really, and really it's crazy, you guys. I don't want this video to be like all sadness, because I don't want to be a victim. I will defeat my disorder, but let's keep it real. I'm still a bipolar person. It's very hard for us to work, even though I think when it comes to the conversation on mental disorders, we should talk about how people with mental disorders, not all, have a lot of issues working, studying, and living their everyday life. You're not a stable person. Your body doesn't create chemicals and hormones as they should. You're not a regular human being. It's very hard for bipolar people to work. It's very hard for bipolar people to study. Knowing this is very disheartening, because I don't want to be that. I want to work, I want to study, I want to succeed in life, but this thing is letting you down. I don't want biological children, and this is something that I'm not advised to. bipolar disorder has shown to be genetic in many cases. I don't want a chance to have biological children and then having this. Even raising children between even raising children being a bipolar is something that has been discussed and I'm doing research about. In many cases it's not advised to, and I get it, you're not a stable person. And it's like these things that I always want to do, I might not be able to do them because of this. How you cannot think about suicide even though we're going through your treatment, even though going through everything that keeps you away from it, it's gonna keep you away from it. You are not gonna be able maybe to live the life you want to, even if you think you can, sometimes might not be able to. There's not a legitimately cure. It's not like a pill is gonna save you. No, you're gonna still have it. You're gonna still have your up and downs. And it's disheartening. I'm not gonna lie, now I'm doing better. I'm not in the same place. I haven't thought about suicide or all of that in a long time, but the thought is still there. I'm not a regular person and I'm not a victim. I have a mental disorder and I will do all my best to live an average life. Maybe this not be the video of like, maybe this might not be the best video of talking about mental illnesses, but this is my experience of me dealing with them and what I feel. And the last and most touchy subject that I haven't been fully diagnosed yet, but if I am or if I'm not, I will do an update video about this thing, is PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. So, for the people that might not know very well, post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, is a mental disorder that can develop after a person is exposed to a traumatic event, such as sexual assault, warfare, traffic collisions, or other threats on a person's life. I kind of struggle talking about this on camera and to anybody. I haven't talked about this with anybody, but I really think you do, and the few people that watch me too. I'm thankful for all of you. This has helped me a lot in dealing with what I go through. I had two instances when I was a child that I once I almost was molested, and then once I was a teenager I was sexually assaulted. So because of these two instances, I have sometimes issues with me thinking that me being a fully grown man now, it's gonna happen to me again. It's harder to me to make friends thinking that it might happen to me. And I know it sounds odd and crazy because I'm a guy, but this happens to me, especially after been dealing with that. I really can't. After been dealing with that, I was assaulted, something that I was under the influence of alcohol. I can't control that, and I was a teenager, but I was still very young. it really affect me. And we with my doctors, because I'm not only seeing one, we seem close that I might have PTSD, but I really need to get fully diagnosed before I really can talk fully about it. But that's a quick recap of things that I've been through and me living with these disorders and how all of them are connected to suicide. I don't know if this video was clear, but this is what I can share for now. And I'm really thankful for all of you, and this is something that I want to incorporate into my channel. It's very personal, and I really want to talk more about mental health here, because I know that information online helped me seek for treatment, and maybe it saved my life. So if any of you believe that are going through an emotional crisis, you might believe you might have a mental disorder yourself, just seek for help. I don't want you to be a victim. Fight for your life, because that's what I'm doing. And if you believe somebody you know is going through this, help them. You don't know when somebody can really finish their lives because they can't deal with it anymore. So thank you guys for watching this video.